Hey, it's Gary from Soccer Labs, and today what I want to do is cover 5 common traits of problems that we see with almost every single child that comes in here. It's almost universal, and these things are really easy to fix, but they're really important that they do get fixed. So I've got Franz in the background over there, and he's going to help me demonstrate some of these 5 problems that we see for kids the first time they come into Soccer Labs. All right, now the first problem we always see with kids is what I call the Fred Flintstone. And if you ever watch the cartoon of the Flintstones, they always run backwards to run forwards. So the proper way to kick the ball is just a step kick it. So Franz, go ahead and kick the ball. Okay. Now that's real simple, right? That's what you're used to seeing, but what most kids will do when they first come into Soccer Labs is kick the ball, trap it with the same foot, and then do a Fred Flintstone run backwards before they kick it forwards. So Franz, go ahead and kick it. And this is what we see all the time. It's like they can't get any power on the ball, so they run backwards to kick the ball forwards. Now the second most common thing I see kids do, and especially true with their weak foot, is they kick into the ground. So again, we're gonna start with just a basic way of kicking the ball, and when we kick the ball, we kick through it. So Franz, go ahead and kick through the ball. That's just your standard everyday kick that you'd expect a kid to use. But what we see with kids coming in here, again, especially with the weak foot, they will jam their foot into the ground, and this takes away their follow through, takes away all the power from the kick. So Franz, go ahead and kick into the ground. That's it. So they kick and they jam it into the ground, okay? That is a common problem, and that's something we always have to fix, especially with the weak foot. Now, another common thing we see with the strong foot and the weak foot is that people will get the ball under their body. What we really need to do, of course, is keep the ball out in front of us so we can manage the ball. When the ball gets underneath the body, they run into all sorts of problems. They can't kick the ball with any power. They can't turn the ball. It gets caught up on their feet, and it's always a big disaster. So a simple thing we do is we fix that. And Franz, go ahead and show what it should look like. Okay, and this is keeping the ball out in front of you. So now you can kick it, manage it, turn it, do all the things you need to do. Now, let the ball go under your feet just so people can see what I'm talking about. And now when the ball is under there, see how it's almost like between his ankles and he can't really get any power on it. And it's always a really difficult thing for the kids to manage and to get power on the ball. One of the most fundamental things a kid has to do in soccer is dribble the ball. And 2 things we see very commonly when they come into Soccer Labs is they have no fundamental concept of how to actually dribble the ball. So there's 2 things we have here that we call puppy dogging and penguining. Those are the 2 common traits. What we really want to do is get them to dribble so that every step they're making contact with the ball. So Franz, go ahead and dribble the proper way so you can see what it's like to get your foot on the ball every step. Okay, good. Now Franz has control of the ball and he can do whatever he wants. Go back, please. Okay, very simple stuff. This is fundamental soccer, but most kids don't have this capability. Now, what most kids will do is what I call penguining or puppy dogging. So the first thing is a penguin, where they look like a penguin because they're just bouncing the ball in between their left foot and right foot on the inside of their feet. They have their feet flared out and they look like a penguin waddling down the field. So Franz, demonstrate what a penguin looks like. It's actually not quite like that. The ball is a little messier, but it's hard for someone to do this when they're actually more skilled at dribbling. But you get the concept. It's when they're just dribbling on the inside of their feet, the ball's just kind of ricocheting back and forth from their left foot to their right foot, and they look like a penguin waddling down the field. Now the second one is what I call a puppy dog, because they're not really dribbling and controlling the ball. They're kicking it, chasing it, kicking it, chasing it, like a puppy dog chases a ball. So when we say no puppy dogging and no penguining, these are the 2 things we're trying to avoid, having them dribble with the ball just ricocheting in between the insides of both feet. And then of course puppy dogging, it's just one big giant touch and a chase. So Franz, show me what a puppy dog looks like. So again, no control, he just rammed that ball into the wall. And if he needs to cut, make a turn, stop and make a pass, do a move, he can't do it because he's not really in control of the ball. So that's it for dribbling, puppy dogging, and penguining. Those are the 2 common traits we always do correct. Now the last thing we're going to do is make sure that kids can dribble with all the surfaces of the foot and manage the ball to make turns and cuts with the inside of the foot, outside of the foot, bottom of the foot, and to be able to do that with both their strong foot and their weak foot. So there's 3 fundamental exercises we work on. We work on dribbling exclusively with the outside of the foot. So Franz, show them how to do an outside, and all we're doing is making 2 small touches on the ball. Again, it's really a control thing so that we can dribble and keep in control. Okay, now let's do an outside-inside, and we're gonna touch it with the outside and stop it with the inside. So push with the outside, stop with the inside. Do that outside-inside one more time. Just slow it down a little bit. Outside, touch, inside, outside, touch, inside, and that's it. That's actually one of the fastest ways to get through any mess in the midfield or any obstacles, because you're using both feet, and it's just really efficient and really fast. Now the last one we do, we call it a rake touch, because we're going to rake it, or you might call it a strong roll, but we call it a rake it here. So we're going to do a rake touch where we're using the bottom of our foot to manage the ball. So we rake it, we touch it, we rake it, we touch it, we rake it, we touch it. Okay, Franz, go ahead, rake touch. And then we may as well throw in one last bonus, because Franz is doing it on every corner. What Franz is doing is coming around the corner using the outside surface of his inside foot, so he shortens the distance to cut the corner as quickly as possible. So Franz, come on down here and cut the corner on this last pole again, please. So now watch how he's going to use that foot, and boom, he takes the inside line using the outside surface of that inside foot. So it's a very efficient way, very fast way to get it around that corner. And I want to show you in contrast what it's like to use the inside of your inside surface of your outside foot. And 2 bad things happen here. One, you're taking the long way around the corner. And the second thing is that the ball is physically getting behind you. Okay, the way he just did it, the ball is always in front of you. When you use the inside of your foot, if you watch the mechanics of it, he's actually letting the ball get behind his body. So Franz, go ahead, and I want you to take that final turn using the inside of your foot, like I make sure we never do when we're training. Okay? That's a slow way of getting around the corner. Now, Franz is actually doing it pretty well. He did that very tight and efficient for an inefficient move. But when we put the clock to all these drills, it is significantly faster for every single kid to use the outside surface of their inside foot, cut that ball around the corner in the shortest distance possible, and they will have the fastest time through any given obstacle. All right, those are the main 5 things that we're working on. It's very fundamental stuff. This is not rocket science, but these are things that 99.8% of the kids that come into Soccer Labs do not know how to do. You must know how to do these things if you want to be a good soccer player. And I can tell you right now that the kids do not know how to do it. The clubs are a very inefficient place to learn this sort of thing. We have the environment, the equipment, everything you need to be able to manage the ball well, in addition to all the speed work we do and reaction work and that sort of thing. So Franz, thank you for helping me in this video. I appreciate your time and your expertise. So let's give Franz a hand, all right? All right, bye everybody.